So hello everyone, my name is Mohammad Irfan and I teach mathematics. So today we are going to start a new session on the statistics और जिसको हम सांख्यिकी भी कहते हैं. Let's start the statistics. So statistics. Now let's understand what is a statistics and how we can find out the central tendency. We will discuss about central tendency in further sessions. Now we are going to start the basics of statistics. The basic of statistics is all about data. So statistics it's about collecting the data and fetching out the desired result from that data. Now I am going to explain what is a data. So now there is a data, and data, what is a data? Data can be anything. It can be anything. It can be your roll number, it can be your age, it can be your numbers of members in your family, it can be anything. So that we can collect is the data. Now I am going to start. Data can be anything that we can store. Okay, data can be anything. It can be, for example, I can write it can be your roll number, it can be your age, it can be anything, etc. Okay, now how we can collect that data? So on the basis of collection, if I want to collect some data, we can differentiate in two types. So on the basis of collection, so I am going to write on the basis of collection, we can differentiate the data in two types. So now I am going to show you that is on the basis of collection, data can be differentiated into two parts, and the first part we are going to understand is the primary data, and I am going to write only the basics, primary data, and the second one obviously secondary data. Okay, so let's understand what is primary data. So primary data is that data that is collected by the observer. If I want to do any mathematics, any statistics on that data, and I myself collect the data from the source, that data will be known as the primary data. Then what is the secondary data? So students, the secondary data is that data that is already stored in the system, in the files, in the government records. So if I am using that already stored data, that data is known as the secondary data. Okay, understood? Or I can give you an example. If I want to know how many people have the income less than 50,000, so I can go to the income tax department, I can ask the results, and I can fetch out the result. That data will be known as secondary data. Why? Because I am using the income tax department data. Now what is primary data? If I want to find out your age, so I will come to you and collect your age by myself. That is data is the primary data. Understood, guys? Okay, very good. Now we are moving forward. Now I will ask you about doubt. If you have any doubt, you can ask or you can type in the chat box also. Okay, there is a yes. Now we are moving forward. Now what about the statistics? So the statistics, in the statistics we will found the central tendencies. What, student? Central tendency. So what are the central tendencies or central tendency I can write? So what is the central tendency? The central tendency is the data that represent the center of stored data. So if I have 10,000 data, if I have 10,000 results, if I have 10,000 of your ages, or it can be your income, so what is the central data? What is the central value? So that can be found out by these three that I am going to write down. So we have central tendency, and under central tendency we will find out mean of that data. And we have studied it many times, and at that time we called it averages. So I am going to write average also here. Okay, average. Now the second one is, now I am going to write the second one, that is the mode. So mode of our data, we know that is the most frequent. I am giving you the definitions already, but I will explain each and everything in the further session. Now what is mode? Mode is the most frequent data that is coming in the list. जो सबसे ज़्यादा बार data आने वाला है, that data will be known as the mode. So I can write here most frequent data, most frequent data or list or number that is coming in the list. Now the next one is that I am going to write is the median. Student, the next thing is median. Median of our data. For the median, first of all we need to arrange the data. We can arrange the data according to ascending order or descending order. So according to that data we can find out the central value that will be known as the median of that data. So let's understand these things, that is the central tendency, that is the mean, then the mode and the median. Now guys, we are going to move forward, so I am going to clear it. Okay, now student, on the basis of representation of data, we can classify the data into two types. Let's start. So on the basis of representation. So if I want to represent our data now, so how can I do that? On the basis of representation, we can classify the data into two types. So now I am going to write data, and data can be classified on the basis of representation. So we can represent the data in raw form. So if the data is not arranged now, so that data is known as the raw data. So I can write raw data. Raw data is what data? That is not arranged. So I can write not arranged in any order. Not arranged. Okay. Then what is the second type, students? So the second type of data is the arranged data, or I can say the arranged data. Okay. Arranged data, or I'll write organized data. If it is organized in some order or some manner, so that data is known as the organized data. So I'm going to write it, that is the organized data. Okay. Organized data. So now student, let's learn about the basic tendency जो हमने पहले start की, that is the central tendencies. So I am going to explain each and every one of them. So let's get started with the basic central tendencies. Okay, so now I am going to remove it. Now let's start with the very basic central tendency, that is the mean, and we have the another name for that, that is the average. So now what is a mean, or the another name we have for that is average. So we have average also. So how can we find out the mean or average of any data? So first of all we need to find out the sum of that data and divide it by the number of observation we have. So I'm going to give you an example. So now let's say we have some numbers. So I'm going to write some numbers here. So let's say we have 2, then 3, then 19, then 17, then 3, then 8. Okay. Now we have some numbers. So how can we find out the mean or average? So the formula of mean or average is equal to total sum, that is the sum of observation, sum of total observation. So I'm going to write observation here, and divided by total number of observation. So then we need to find the total number of observation we have. Okay. So now let's find out the sum. So for the sum, what I'll do is I'll add up these numbers. So let's add them. So 3 plus 17 is 20, 9 plus 3 is 22, and 2 plus 8, that is 2, and plus 8 is 10. Now that is 30. So I have 30 plus 22, that is the 52 now. So guys, the total sum is 52. So now I'm going to write again, that is the 52. Then how many numbers of observation we have right now? So we can count now. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to write 6 here. And what is 6 by? If I want to find out, so you can find out in the decimal, or we can solve it. So I can solve it here. So I can divide, that is the 52 divided by 6. So I have 6 is a 36, 7 is a 42. Guys, count with me. 6 7 is a 8 is a 48. Now what we have is 52 times 52 48 4, then I'll put 0, then 8, then 6 are 36. So we have 4, then 6 will be continuous, so I can write 8.6 or 8.6 bar. Then we will discuss the bars further. Then let's assume this is 8.6. That's how we can find out the mean or the average of any given data. Understood, guys? Now I'm going to remove it, but we will have the same data. Okay, now we will have the same data and we will find out the mode of that data. Okay, so now we have same data. So now on the number, the list we have is same, and now we are going to find out. Now guys, what is mode? What is mode? So mode, I told you now, that is the most frequent item or number or list or any data that is occurring most of the time, that is known as the mode. So I'm going to write that is the most frequent data. Most frequent data is known as the mode of that data. So let's observe the data very carefully, then we will know that what is the mode. So I can see 2 how many times? Only 1. So okay. Then 3 I can see 2 times, that is 3 and 3. Then 19 only 1 time. 17 yes only 1 time, and 3 already I counted. 8 only 1 time. The most frequent data I can see जो सबसे ज़्यादा बार आ रहा है वो है 3 जो है 2 time. So the the finding of mode in a list data is very easy. You just need to observe the data and find out the frequency of each data. That's how you can find out the mode of that data. So now we have the mode of that data, that is the 3. So the mode is 3. So the mode is 3. The most frequent data is 3. So the mode is 3. Now guys, we are approaching to the final thing, that is the median of data. So first of all, let's understand what is a median. So median and how we can find the median. So median of a data. So median, if I have a list of number, how we can find out the median. So in the previous one, in the mean and in the mode, we didn't do anything about the arrangement, but for the median we have to arrange the data. So make sure you have to arrange the data. How you can arrange the data? So for the simplification, I can tell you, you can arrange the data according to ascending order, or you can arrange the data according to descending order. But I would suggest you that arrange the data according to ascending order, because it will be easy. It will be easy to observe. It will be easy to do mathematics on that thing. So I would suggest you that. So let's have a list and then we will find out the median. Okay, according to the formula. So now I am going to write some numbers here and we will find out the median of that data. For median, make sure you are arranging the data ascending or descending, but it is suggested that you should arrange the data according to ascending order. Now I'm going to write. Let's say we have a list, that is 2, that is 13, that is 15, that is 6, that is 1, that is 0, that is 4. Now we have some list. How we can find the median of that data? So first of all, we have to arrange the data. So according to the ascending order. Okay, what is ascending? Ascending is smallest to the, okay, now I can make a triangle. Now you all know, guys, we ascend the Mount Everest. Okay, keep that in mind. We ascend the Mount Everest. Now, so if we are here, so we ascend it. So ascend, it means I am approaching to the top, to the highest level. I started with the very basic 0 level. So for the ascending is the same thing. Yes, this is the same thing. First of all, we need to pick the lowest level because I need to ascend the Mount Everest. Now, so I'll start with the very basic thing, that is the 2. So I'll start with 2. Then I'll take the next one, the higher one. Okay, I'll start with 0. 0 is there also. And 1. So let me remove it. So I'll start with 0, the smallest one. Then I'll take 1. Then I'll take 2. Then there is 4. Then there is 6, if I'm not wrong. Then there is 13 and there is 15. Now guys, let's understand actually what is the median. Median is the central data, the middle data of this given data. How we can find out the middle? The middle can be found out very easily. We can remove one by one, and we can find out the middle data. We have formula for that also, but the logic is simple. We need to find the middle number. How we can find out the middle number? As you can see, I have arranged the data. Now what I will do is I will cancel out the number from each end. So I will cancel out 0, then यहाँ से मैं 15 को remove करूँगा. Then I will cancel 1, then I will remove the 13, then I will cancel 2, then I will remove the 6. Now we have only one data. That is the 4. Now we can say this data is the median of that data. Okay? So now we have a median. Now we have a median, that is the 4 of this data. Now I'll take another example to explain if there were two numbers, then how we can find. Then on that data we need to find the midpoint, then we will add them and divide it by 2. That's how we can find out the data. So let's take another example to explain that concept. Okay? So now I'm going to remove it. Okay? Now ascending order is clear. Now we have data. Now I'm going to explain one more time. Okay? Now we have the same list. Okay? We have the same list, and I'm going to add another number that is 7. Let's say there is 7. So according to the rule, we need to ascend the data, and you know na, we ascend the Mount Everest. Mount Everest rule is simple. Now I'm going to start with a very basic thing. So the lowest number is 0, then 1, then 2. After that I have 4. Then I have 6, and I added 7 there, and then there is 13, and there is 15. Guys, if I'm not wrong, then this is the right order of ascending order. Ascending means smallest, then larger one, then larger one, then larger one, and there is the greatest number we have. Now the logic is simple. We need to find the middle value. Middle value, that means I need to cancel out the numbers. So I'll start it with 0. So if I cancelling out the 0, then I'll remove the 15 from here. Then 1, then 13 from here. Then 2, then 7. Can I cancel 4 and 6 and median will be 0? No, it can't be the answer, because there is a median in every data. What should I do now? So what should I do? So I'll add the number, because I'll find the midpoint of that. And how we can find out the midpoint of that data? So by finding out the midpoint of any number, just adding them and dividing them by 2. So now I will add them, that is 4 plus 6, and divided by 2, that is 10 divided by 2, 5. So that the median of data is 5. So students, as you can see, 5 was not the number from the list, but still 5 is the median of data. So sometimes you will find out the mean, the median, mode will be the most frequent, so it will be from the list, but the mean and the median can be from the list or without the list. Now student, I am going to end the session, and please subscribe our channel and subscribe it, like it, share it, and we will be uploading all the sessions on the basis of statistics and mathematics. Bye bye, take care everyone.